Fade to me. Oh, there we are. Hey guys, welcome to another live stream. I'm here inside the house. It's just cold outside, and I still haven't gotten all the wiring figured out yet in the studio. Studio's not quite ready yet, obviously. Welcome to the live stream, and we're getting a little tracking action there. I just totally forgot that the Oscars were on the night until I came up. I was looking at my phone, and it said like, "Oh, your Oscars is on tonight." And I really have no way of watching it because I don't have Hulu and I don't have live television, so I don't have no Oscars. So the best I can do is just to have this like little CNN news feed that's just got like this live feed down there, and I guess they're gonna tell you like who the winners are, and that will have to just do for today because I've never done an Oscars stream. We used to, in the old days when like people cared about the Oscars, we used to do like a live tweeting Oscars, and that was fun. But this year, like, there's just nothing. I don't know, nothing to even talk about as far as the Oscars. So a little bit about what's going on. I didn't stream last weekend because I was really sick last weekend. I was actually sick most of this week too. Well, so I had like a stomach virus, some sort of stomach virus for about a week, starting last Wednesday, and that turned into a like not strep throat, but something that felt like strep throat this week. It was actually it was bad. I was feeling better, like on Thursday night. I thought I was feeling better. I want my friends to do a trivia night, and where we actually won. First time we actually completely won the entire thing. It was epic. The Neil Breen Dream Team definitely came ahead there. I'm drinking some body armor, by the way. That's what this is. I'm settled for some drinks, so we're gonna hang out for a bit here today because I want to see how much we can do of the Oscars before I just literally conk out. Say hi in the comments. Oh, am I not streaming? I'm streaming. There I am. Yeah, I'm streaming. Say hi in the chat, and we'll get your chats up there. But yeah, so I was pretty darn sick. Thursday night, like Thursday, I went out with my friends, and we won the award thing. But then Friday morning came around, and Thursday night, Friday early morning, at like 1 a.m., I woke up, and my throat was just super painful, unbelievably painful. So I decided I was going to go ahead and go to I wanted to go get a clinic. I wanted to go to the clinic. Hold on. I didn't want to call my regular doctor because it's a hassle. And I know it's a sore throat. Just give me antibiotics. That's really all it is. So I went ahead and howdy, Lifeline Entertainment. So it does work. Chat does work. I don't know if you guys are all probably going to be watching the Oscars, or I don't know if anybody's watching the Oscars. Anyhow, so Thursday, what was I saying? Friday morning, I went to. This is so annoying because I wanted to go to a clinic, one of those like 24-hour clinics, just so they could just give me pills, right? And so I looked on my phone, and I have a certain insurance. I go to the insurance, and I look it up, and I say, okay, this is the one that's covered in your network. Okay, I go there. I'm like, hey, I need to see the doctor. And my voice is so bad, like, I need to see a doctor right now. Or I want to talk about my sore throat. And they're like, oh, you have your insurance card? Yeah. We don't, you're not covered in that because you're a PPO, not an HMO. You're an HMO, not a PPO. And PPO, I'm literally flashing the camera. That's cool. But anyhow, HMOs, we're not in the group. You have to be in a certain group. I'm like, oh my God. Like, all right, how much is it going to be? It's like $140. Like, oh, okay, fine. But then I sit down and I start Googling it some more. Like, oh, you just go to there's another place you can go to. And so I Googled that, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to spend $140 when my copay should be $5 for an in-network medical to see a doctor. And then so I go ahead and tell him like, okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go and check this other one. So I go to this other place, and it turns out it's not the actual medical clinic. It's just like the offices of the medical insurance. And like, oh, I don't know what. And they're like, oh, if you want, the one that's in our network is this other medical clinic, which is by a place that you always go. This one restaurant that I always go because I'm friends with the owner there. And so I'm like, all right. So I go there, and then yes, they can see me there. And it was literally $5. And it took like half an hour. And it was perfect. They just like, look, the doctor was like, hey, you doing? Oh, that sounds terrible. Open your mouth. Oh my God. Okay, well, here's some antibiotics and here's some steroids. Because you look like you need to like get buffed. No, steroids are for reducing swelling. Because I had a super swollen tonsil, I guess. And I took those on Friday, and I actually had to cancel my class because I was feeling so bad I couldn't barely talk. And yeah, and that was my Friday. But those things started working right away, and I feel way better. I'm about 95% back. Bruin Flight. Hey there, John. Bullet Silent says, hey, John jumped on. How are things, my man? Well, I'm just kind of explaining how I'm feeling. So tonight, I figured I'll just hang out for as long as I can because I have nothing to go on tonight. I'm really supposed to be just trying to relax a little bit because I had a pretty rough week. I did do like 3 shoots during the week, and I taught a class that I shouldn't have. But we are kind of... I don't have the Oscar stream. I don't know how to stream it. I don't have Hulu. I don't have live television. So I have this one YouTube channel on like a CNN live feed that will kind of give us updates as we go through the night. Not that I don't think anybody's really that excited about it. I don't know. It just seems to me like it's run its course a little bit. Mario Casatari, hello from Brazil. Sorte Fernando Torres. You're not the only guy that's from Brazil that usually comes around here. You have another one. Fernando Torres. Is that the one from Amelia Perez? Everyone's talking about Amanda, or no. What is that? Oh. What's with Fernando Torres? Because I keep seeing her name being mentioned a lot. Second mother-daughter duel to be Oscar nominated with her mom, Fernando Montenegro. Well, that's cool. I'm Still Here. Couldn't help but gush over the second mother and daughter duo to be nominated at the ceremony with her mom, Fernando Torres, and Judy Garland. So who's being nominated for what? I'm not even sure. Torres is currently okay. Where's Torres? So she is an I'm Still Here, and her daughter. What's her daughter in? I don't know. I'm so out of Fernando. I don't understand why this article just doesn't say. Oh my God, this is annoying. You know what? I'm just gonna get perplexity. Sometimes I feel, like sometimes it just like I need to start getting used to using AI to just like literally just answer questions for me. All right, how do I log in? There we go. Fernando. I guess I could use Grok too. Or I could use the chat. Use your collective intelligence. That's not very helpful. I have no idea what's going on. Alright, whatever. Back to you guys. Will there be a fist fight? Yes, I sure hope so. And I hope it's between like Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. The way the awards recently, Demi Moore is definitely getting one. I hope so. I enjoyed The Substance. I was maybe thinking about watching it again. Account for language learning. Oh my goodness, are we back? You mean you want AI to filter out the noise? I know. Yeah, AI, like all the noise, and even then, the AI can be kind of annoying. Yeah, I can see your comment. I am still here, competing for Oscar. Yeah, but who is she? Isn't her daughter up for something or something like that? Fernando Torres' daughter. No, not that one. Fine, I'll use Grok. All right. Okay. Fernanda Torres. I'm still here. Okay. Historic Oscar nomination following her mother, Fernando Montenegro, who's nominated in 1999 for Central Station. Okay, that makes more sense. So it's not her daughter that's being nominated in this ceremony. It's another one. Yeah. You're following the chats on YouTube. Love your classes. Thank you. All right. Okay, so yeah. So that's what's been going on here. There we go. So, okay, I'll just be frank here. I think the reason why was I think your account got banned. So, I think you mentioned something about Luigi, and I thought it was very poor taste. So, no mention of Luigi ever on my stream, because I think that murderer. I think that guy is a complete murderer, and I didn't appreciate your comment about how everyone's like can get behind Luigi, because fuck that asshole. That's why. Like I'm seriously like that crosses the line to me. Like seriously crosses the line. Like unbelievably crosses the line. By the way, like no joking, no joking. Like you do not condone murder for political gain, and that's entirely what that is. And it sickens me to see anybody even on the internet using like Saint Luigi memes and stuff like that, because it's like literally the worst thing I've ever seen. So that's why. Three chords. Yeah, living across the pond is what Mario brother done. I know, that's a thing. Yeah, I don't want to go into that more. We can just leave it there. Yeah, so yeah, what else is going on here? I mean, other than I don't think the Oscars officially start till what 7 o'clock. Is that what time it is? Um, you know what we can do? We can ask. We can ask Grok. I kind of want to. I kind of wanted to see. I really want to use the Grok's voice thing, but it costs a little too much money for my tastes. What time does the Oscars start? It starts what 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p. Oh no, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Okay, no, well, no. Pre-show kicks off at 3:30, but when is the actual ceremony? When does the actual ceremony? Oh no, you're not unbanned. That counts as banned. No, you crossed the line there. The Rubicon has been crossed. And if you wish to pursue it more, I can ban this account as well, but it's up to you. Grok is like, no, I don't know. Quit asking me. The ceremony begins at 7 p.m. Eastern time. No, it doesn't start at 4 p.m. It starts at. Well, maybe is the show actually on right now? I don't know. The presentation starts following red carpet pre-show, which begins at 3:30. Oh, okay, maybe it's on right now. They always stick like one or two good, like actual, like interesting winners at the very beginning. Do we have any? Oh, okay, they have been starting. Well, never mind. Okay, so we do have some interest. We have some stuff in here. Sean Baker wins a Nora for Best Original Screenplay. I haven't seen a Nora yet. So he's the third person to win writing award while also being nominated for editing for the same movie. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can just do like an Oscar winners. This little live stream is literally worthless. Do I have a favorite film from 2024? Yeah, I do like. I think honestly, it probably was The Substance. Of all the movies I've seen, probably the most interesting movie that I felt was good on the year. Look, everyone's kind of shitting on Wicked. I liked Wicked. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where if they're going to honor Wicked, they're not going to do it this year. They're going to do it next year because it's not done yet, right? So like you never give them the first movie the Oscar. You give the second movie the Oscar for the first. And I think next year will probably be a year where Wicked will be really actually be a contender. This year it's not. It's not going to be a contender. I was thinking about watching Eva. What's the name of that movie? The Ava one that everyone hates. Eva Perez. And I got a little bit into it, but I was so tired and I was like starting to close my eyes. But it's in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish that well to like understand it with my eyes closed. So I need to have my eyes open in order to hear, read the what do you call it, the text. And yeah, well, Wicked did win an Oscar for Paul Tazewell for best costume design, the first black man to win an Oscar for best costume design. There you go. Oh, we're getting all these. They're starting to come in here now. Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner have made their gossip stuff. Adam Sandler crashes the Oscar for another Timothy Chalamet moment. Peter Strahan wins Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay for Conclave. Another movie I didn't see. Let's see. Honora. I don't have no idea what Honora is about, but I feel like it's probably one that I might end up having to watch. I've never been a huge fan of Sean Baker. To be fair, though, I don't really know if I've seen much of any of his work. Didn't I see that Spring Breakers? Wasn't that Spring Breakers? Isn't that Sean Baker? Or am I thinking someone else? No, that's not Sean Baker. Harmony Korine. Sean Baker. Oh no, I guess I haven't seen Florida Project, Tangerine. I just I don't, Tangerine is one of those movies that I just can't watch because every freaking person uses it as an example of like, oh, you can make a movie with an iPhone. It's like, okay, I don't. That's kind of the reason, almost the reason enough for me not to watch it. I watched Dark Match last night. Good film for your bad movie weekends. Wrestling horror with Steve Ogg and Chris Jericho. Dark Match. I'm going to add that to my list. The last movie we watched, I've never actually watched the whole thing. Oh, that does look freaking good. I love this. Okay, so here's a great. I'll just put this up there because that Oscar feed is worthless. All right. Here we go. There's Dark Match. This looks actually really good. I can't read that, so that's not very helpful. Dark Match. A group of wrestlers find out just how real wrestling can get when they become guests of honor at a match held by Satanists. Boy, that looks something else. It's a 2024. So the only thing with that is we don't generally watch movies that are modern, but I mean, it could be a possibility. I floated the idea that maybe we should watch Sharknado. But I don't know if I just floated it. I was like, should we watch Sharknado? Is that something that our crowd is going to be into or not? So we'll find out. Let's see. There you go. Count says, with my stream and forgot the Oscar. Test what's my problem. My account, see the stream, forgot the Oscars. Best film I've seen in 24 was made in 1994. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, honestly. It's just not a good year for movies. I think part of that is the strikes. Part of that is the general culture war that's going on. I think a lot of political nonsense. I feel like hopefully we're going to get back a little bit more normalcy for a few years until it resurfaces again, and we have more what do you call it? Extremist nonsense that's floating out there. Let's see here. What am I? So yeah, so we did. The last movie we watched in our bad movie night last weekend was Mac and Me. I had not seen Mac and Me, even though I had used it for. I actually used it for the Mockbusters, video. So, but I'd seen clips of it. I'd never actually sat down and forced myself to watch the entire movie. And yeah, it was pretty rough. How is the work level here in the U.S.? I'm only booked for like 2 gigs. I don't work in the narrative film market. I work in like not commercial, but like corporate and civic work, and I feel like it's going to be a pretty busy year for me, or at least definitely not lower than average. Hopefully a little more higher than average, but yeah, it's like the kind of work that I do is not affected really by all the stuff that's going out there. I'm sure like the actual movie industry with the upset with the streaming and all that stuff, I feel bad for them. It's well, it's just the nature of this thing here. It's just so, I don't know. I feel like we are in such a weird time as far as movies. It's sort of like the studios have a mentality of if you build it, they will come, and they're entitled to your time and attention, and so it just feels like movies. I don't know. Like, used to be a time when I would turn on a show and I would just be like sucked in and entertained, and I would just I wanted to see what happened next. But now TV shows and movies are feel so much like they're like I have to work for it. Like they want me to, it's they like how can I describe that? They just want you to um what am I trying to say? They're like the best way I could say it, I guess, is like there are sometimes I watch amateur filmmakers that make movies, and they kind of think they have what Marvel has, which is like a built-in audience. So like Marvel can kind of tease you with a lot of stuff because you already love the universe and you love the characters. You're sucked into the whole thing, and so that you're willing to give them lots of like space and distance to build things. But then these young filmmakers will make this stuff like that, and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't know you people. I don't know what you know what I mean. So, anyhow, that's how I feel about modern filmmaking or modern films right now. It's like I just want to be like instantly sucked into a program. And I remember watching like the first season of House of Cards, and I remember like the thing I liked about the first season of House of Cards was the fact that, first of all, I liked Kevin Spacey back then. We all liked Kevin Spacey back then. He wasn't canceled yet, so it's okay. He wasn't as creepy as he is now. But it's just like when I watched that first episode, it felt like I liked seeing the world. I loved the set design. It was so good. So anyhow, I got sucked in right away. The last TV show that I was starting to go through Twin Peaks. I haven't watched any more episodes yet because every time I watch it, I tend to fall asleep because it's tiring. Twin Peaks is kind of a hard. I love the show, but it has a way to just lull me to peaceful sleep. Anyhow, let's go back to your comments. I watched Class Action a few days ago before Hackman news. It was one of my favorites. Yeah, that's right. Hackman passed away. Michelle Trachtenberg passed away. She was young. She's my age. I'm not young. 2001 Star Wars, Citizen Kane trailer, Jaws, Wisdom, Be Loud with a typewriter at a coffee shop. I'm not quite sure where you're going with that plot bot. Is that an AI plot bot? Am I watching Severance? Not. So I tried to watch it when the first season came out, and I got into it for like about 4 or 5 episodes. Maybe 4, maybe 3 or 4. But I just couldn't hang with it for some reason. I don't remember why, other than thinking that I thought Adam Scott looked really bad. Like really, really bad. You know what I want to maybe try to jump into is the new season of White Lotus. I loved those first two seasons of White Lotus. Those were really good shows. Those are shows. That's what I mean. Like shows that like immediately grab me and get me like, oh, I want to hang out with these people or in this location because it's White Lotus. It's like this fancy hotel, and there's a murder. It's instantly like there's a murder first day, but we'll see. Oh, you believe in the phone has changed the way you make and watch movies? Yeah, I do. I think the phone has done a little bit of change the way we approach stuff. Like we can watch stuff while we're eating in a more intimate way than we ever have. Like you can, like used to be when you ate and watched a TV show, you would have to sit in the couch and eat your TV. But now you can bring the phone with you to the kitchen or to the dining room and put it right in front of you while you eat your food. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. Oh hell, I don't think anything's a good thing anymore. I should just get rid of the phone for a while. I should probably do that. Like bring back boredom. Being bored for a while. I don't know. All the horror, all the fun, all the strange are in the news in our days. Oh yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like drama in the news, but I think a lot of that's just manufactured drama. I was working with a director filming on Ari for a commercial. There was a blemish on one of those lenses, really small. He says no one is going to notice that on their freaking phones. That's true. I've been doing a lot of. I've been going on a lot of Reddit, but I'm hanging out at the film side of things on Reddit, and trying to avoid the politics as much as I can on Reddit. As much as I can. You can't really. But one guy was asking a question about a C400 camera, and I thought, geez, C400. If I remember, I mean, I didn't know that the C400 was the price it was. All to be fair, like I think the C400 costs less than the C300. No, C500 is the most expensive one. No, C700 is the most expensive one. The C500, but then the C400 was like the baby. I thought the C400 was more like the C500. Anyhow, so like he was asking a question about like how what's the difference between XF AVS versus XF AVS-S camera recording codecs, and and I was looking at the C400 like color specs, and I was kind of blown away by the fact that you can record like color that's beyond the human gamut with that camera. But I think it's really only like what do you call it? Well, it's only done in RAW format, right? But the thing about that, so he was asking like, what's the difference? And like, I promise you, I'm getting there. Bullet signs. There's a connection in my story to yours. There's a very strange connection. But I was telling him like, well, if you can afford a C400, you can afford to shoot RAW. Because he was asking, what's the best quality, XF AVS or XF AVX-C or AVS-S? And if you look at the actual like the manual, it doesn't really tell you what's the difference. I mean, the data rates are actually exactly the same. You can pull exact same data rates from either the S version or the non-S version. And I said, well, if you're really serious about quality, you got to shoot the RAW. And he says, well, I do a bunch of corporate stuff, and I don't really have justifying the RAW. And then I'm like, then why are you coming here asking about quality? It's like, just shoot the size of file that you want, and then, you've got a corporate client. Corporate clients will think anything that anything that's like halfway decent and lit is like professional quality, right? They don't really know the difference. I told them you can shoot the lowest quality, long GOP, 50 megabits a second, or what? I don't think it goes that low, but you can shoot the lowest setting on a C400, and the client would be like, "Oh, that's amazing." Most clients, obviously, you get like really like a high end client with that really knows what their version is. Yeah, the thing is though, like, so the S version is actually not. I don't think it's H.265. I think they're both 264. The only difference, as I can tell on the thing, is that the S version only does progressive, whereas the non-S version can also do interlace. So I think it's a slightly older, like a more broadcast ready version. I don't like the data rates are, like I said, the data rates are identical. Like you can do the highest data rate and the lowest data rate are actually 100% identical between the two versions of that thing. So yeah, it's true that he was having trouble figuring out what the difference was, but it's true because no one, I don't know, it's hard to tell. My word, are they still doing interlace? I know. Well, in that kind of world, yeah, because of things like the internet, or not the internet, like things like broadcasting. So if we're here over here at the Oscars line, you'll notice that they're fist pumping, and it's interesting. All these people are kind of wandering about. It's like, go to your seats. There's a show going on. I like these two girls over here. That's fun. Back to me. Quality today is a trap. Yeah, it kind of is. I get frustrated, but I get frustrated easily these days. I'm just frustrated all the time. All right, I got more drinks, so when I finish this, I got 2 more drinks to go. They're all 0 calorie. Don't you worry. I've actually lost quite a bit of weight because of my illness. I'm hopefully going to keep it down. That's the plan. I'm going to keep spiraling down with the weight. All right. Well, it's all about the lighting. I agree with that. That's 100% true. Which I didn't demonstrate on Friday because I was sick. I was going to show my class lighting, but we'll show them on Thursday. Oh, ironically, this guy that got that C5 400 came from a Sony FX9. Yeah, 16-bit, nice. Let's see let's see if I can show you that C400. C400 gamut. So that's Ari's. Is it? I think it's an Aces thing. The thing is, I'm not even that well versed on things like Aces and all that. I'm just curious, what does 14 stops of color range on the C400? That makes sense. Anyhow, the first time I saw an HMI in person was a demo at a Burns Sawyer rental barn. My jaw hit the floor. It was gorgeous. HMI or HDR? Or maybe the light itself. Well, maybe the light was pretty darn bright. I do own a 750 watt HMI, and I occasionally use it for like a big long distance lighting, because it does. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of cool. It's amazing how far it reaches. It is, and it's a very nice daylight light. The funny thing is, I rented a Aperture C600 one during the Christmas time to light a street block for a parade. It was nice, but it was nowhere near. I feel like it was a lot of power, but it wasn't as much power as an HMI. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I'm just making stuff up here. Lighting and glass and or filters. Everyone forgets you cannot afford cinema glass. You can get a very similar results with filters and ground glass. Interesting. Filters and ground glass. You have to kind of explain that. How can we grind with ground glass? Well, they got this cute chick here looking good at the. I don't know what she's doing. What is she doing? This stream's gonna turn to John, wondering what's going on at the red carpet at the Oscars. So they're taking photos of her, but they're doing it with a phone. At least it's relatively well lit. I have no idea who that is. Well, there you go. Now we got a picture of you at the Oscars. Sweet. Well, that was entertaining. Are you not entertained, people? Are you not entertained? Hi, Tori from Portland. How are you doing? Let's see here. Let's see what else is happening at the Oscars. Looks like an airport. It does, doesn't it? It's an airport where everyone's dressed very, very, very nicely. Hey, there's my doppelganger. Ground glass isn't used much in digital filmmakers and directors' viewfinders. It's glass that reflects. Oh yeah, but what? Oh, you're talking about the ground glass from old film stuff? Yeah, I remember we used to use ground glass in those 35mm adapters. Oh my god, what a pain in the butt. Those things were awful. All right, let's see what's going on with the Oscars. Let's figure it out. Let's see if we can get some news feed happening. All right. Hey, Kieran Culkin won an Oscar, an Emmy, 2 Golden Globes, 2 SAGs, BAFTAs for his role in, I forget. Can't see it. All right. I'm trying to find the news updates. Gosh, quit it. This thing keeps auto scrolling. Okay, so winner Honora for best editing. I think we talked about that. I'm trying to find. In what era Oscars meant something? I mean, they were kind of important. They were pretty important in the early 2000s when I was coming through. You know, that was a year of, like, you know, Titanic and all their stuff. Trying to figure out. So Sean Baker wins the Oscar for Honora. That's pretty cool. For editing, that is. Trying to figure out where is the next one. Oh, I saw another one. Another winner come through. Oh, Macaulay. Yeah, there's the Culkin. Kieran Culkin for. I like this. New York Post says Kieran Culkin uses Oscar 2020 to persuade his wife into having more kids. Let's get cracking. It's definitely trying to solve the underpopulation population collapse. So Sean Baker gets the Oscar for best screenplay and editing. He's having a good night. Let's see here. So I wanted to see the Culkin. They're doing a James Bond tribute. Margaret Qualley's goes full Bond girl. Does she bite her lip? That's the only thing that anybody cares about these days. So they had a whole Bond thing. I wonder how much Amazon paid them to do that. Probably was all in the cards to make a whole James Bond little thing, even though there's no James Bond movie. I don't know. All right, let's back to your comments. Yeah, Hulu isn't working. Yeah, I know. I tried to get on the Hulu and see if I can just get like a, free trial for a while. So it just doesn't even work. I'll use a VPN. That's an idea. Matty says, I enjoy the documentaries you make about old Hollywood. They are so interesting. Love watch. Keep up the good work. Thank you for your videos. I'll try to make some more ones. I'm waiting. I'm in the process of rebuilding my studio. So, what's my opinion on the whole Bond thing now that Amazon has creative control? I'm not excited by it. Just not excited by it. It just feels like content. Just, I just want something different and new. I don't know. I say that now, but then I always just watch the same old shit over and over again. I did want to see that cat movie that I think Matthews was talking about last time I streamed, and I saw that on Max, and it looked interesting. Haven't gotten around to watching it. I haven't gotten around to watching much of anything, guys, except for Mac and Me, which is terrible. Mac and me. It's all they're doing is talking about the James Bond dance sequence. All right, enough of that. I have 0 movie picks for 2024, 3 for 23, 2 for 22, 4 from 21, 2 from 20. It's pretty good, actually. I'm a big Bond fan, being a Brit, with it being the Broccoli and family up until now. Yeah, I know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to make it like Jack Reacher, which is moderately okay. Hey, Zoe Saldana won an Oscar. That's good. Everyone's been saying some good things about her for just kind of like a win for her filmography. So I'll give her that. She seems to be liked. So good for her. Well, they were getting through these. Well, it's deceptively how fast we're going through, because I'll bet you it's going to just become really slow here for a little bit. Oh, is the Oscars think of streaming films yet? I mean, like as streaming platforms? No, and they shouldn't, because remember, the Oscars are theatrical movies, and the Emmys are for broadcast television. So, like, I think it's absolutely fair the way it is. Like, in order to qualify for the Oscars, you have to play a certain number of screens for a certain certain amount of time, and that's fine by me, because a lot of these places just do that. They just rent a theater for like a month, and then put in a movie theater in LA for like a couple weeks, and there that's your Oscar qualifying, And there's a lot of film festivals that claim to be Oscar qualifying as well. I think that's more like wishful thinking, frankly. I mean, it's cute and all that, but you're not going to find your next Oscar movie in an amateur film festival. I'm sorry. I know that's probably really mean to say, but there ain't no movies, maybe shorts, that are considered Oscar. You could find in your local film festival. Maybe shorts. I'll give them that. I think they should set Bond as a period piece in the 60s. The original writing fits more the era. You could get away with more tongue-in-cheek moments. Can they, though? Can Amazon get away with that? I don't know. Bezos, turned Washington Post all, right-wing, so maybe they can. That's what worries me about modern filmmaking, is it's so, scrubbed and what do you call it? Sanitized. It becomes boring. Like the stream. Just kidding. I feel like I'm not on, because I don't know what's going on with the Oscars. And I've got 24 folks on here. I'm going to keep you guys entertained. Thank you for the work. I'm a movie teacher in indigenous communities. Use the materials a lot to support class. Thank you very much. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, please continue to use them as much as you want. That's what they're there on the internet for. I try to be, I don't know, there's something about getting older and older and older. And then I go on Reddit and I look at some of these questions and be like, you guys are coming at this from the wrong perspective, man. Because I'm old, and I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be this old. And I'm not that old. Man, they just cannot let go of Margaret Qualley. I mean, Margaret Qualley has something about her that's very endearingly sweet. I didn't realize for the longest time Margaret Qualley was Andy McDowell's daughter. I mean, that makes total sense. Aesthetics, color folders, and don't tell them about the Greek theater. Look outside the U.S. if you want to see good recent films. The Japanese, Chinese, Korean still creating superb films. Even the average mediocre one is great by American standards. There you go. Everything is publicly owned, so in a world of social media, the backlash isn't worth the financially, I imagine. Got to keep those shareholders happy. Same with games as well, really. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's it's just rough. Hey, the best makeup and hairstyling goes to the substance. That makes sense. Yeah, definitely the makeup was definitely pretty good on that movie. I just don't know. It's just weird to see. I'm just trying to figure out what the winners are and what's going on. And not having a good luck with it at all, honestly. I think now that I think about it, oh boy, the substance that is from the deleted ones. Not sure what that means. There you go. Japanese animation's golden age right now. Streaming platforms had hidden gems. So I think what I think what's also annoying to me right now with the culture of Hollywood is essentially there is a cool kids club effect with the movies, and I don't know. It's been bugging me a lot. Maybe that's why it's another reason why I don't find the comedy. I don't know. Like I'm trying to say, like the politics of Hollywood. It's like you're with us, right? And it's like, nah, I don't necessarily agree with all your guys' politics, and it's becomes so like offensive. It's just annoyingly offensive. And it used to be just like, well, but now it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And I don't know what the solution to that. I just feel like we just need to make stuff that's good again and entertaining rather than trying to push the politics. I'm trying to find a good decent feed here. I don't think it's going to happen. We could literally watch the live streaming of the call it. They actually have an Oscars sign language live stream where the guy just sits there and live streams. I mean, it's an official. I think it's the official live stream where he does the ASL stuff. There it goes. And we could watch that if you guys knows sign language, because I don't. Funny thing about that, I was like, is there any sound on this channel? And I go to turn up the sound, and I'm like, oh wait, that's right. No, there is no sound in the ASL stream. That's a terrible joke. All right. Oh, drop a beat on that ASL guy and you have a TikTok star? Oh yeah. He's a good looking cat too. He got dressed up for the occasion. You looking so fine. You're looking like you got a zit right there. What the no? All right, that's offensive. You shouldn't be doing that, John. I once did. I'm sorry. I'm going to be real blunt here. I did a job for a school district during COVID when they were doing graduations. We pre-recorded all the graduations for a school district, which is 4 high schools, and we live streamed them all at the same time on a certain day, Friday or whatever. And it was a very big job. And the first thing somebody gets on their high horse and starts complaining, why don't you have an ASL interpreter? And it's just like, you're out, you have captions, but we should have an ASL interpreter. Having ASL interpreter on screen for a pre-recorded message when you have captions was extremely rude. You don't realize what it took to just get this done, lady. Quit your and I'm sure you don't have, and I'll bet you it's one of those people that is offended for someone else. It's not that I need it. No, I'm just offended that there are people in this community who are deaf, and they have to have ASL. They have to have their sign language interpreter. Okay, and I'll be completely honest. I've lived through the era of COVID. Having an ASL guy is extremely distracting because they take up a piece of screen real estate. And on top of that, they're making all this motion. So you're watching them. And I don't know if you guys ever seen, there is a video out there where somebody just passed themselves as ASL interpreter. And they just sat by the mayor and just did gibberish the whole time. And people finally caught on. It's like, that dude is making up stuff. He's not actually saying these things. No, I agree. And I think the amazing thing is nowadays, I did a live stream on Facebook for the Historical Society last Monday. And live generated captions, 99% accuracy, really high accuracy. And what you have nowadays for the deaf community is remarkable, right? Now, look, ASL, great. People like that. I get it. Still. But, to demand, I don't know, that's the thing. It's like, I don't appreciate people that are offended for other people. I'm not offended. I'm offended for this other person who may or not be offended. But I'm offended for them. And if they're not offended, they ought to be offended because what you did was offensive. I'm in a bad mood. I think I'm in a bad mood. I think we're catching John in a bad mood. Let's find out who won the Oscars. That's straight pretty positive. Daily Mail says Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds skip Oscars amid ugly Justin Baldoni scandal despite Deadpool mention. Seems about right. Oh, I finished my body armor. Let's move on. I think I'll go ginger ale. Ginger ale now. Ginger ale. Canadian dry. What are you going to do, John, when this thing costs 25% more? We're going to hopefully get better agreements between the two nations. Negotiate. There we go. I'm offended that you're not offended. That's how offended I am. Let's check back with our ASL guy. Oh, yeah. You just play a Bruno Mars song. He's just like, I'm going to have you naked by the end of this song. That's not Bruno Mars, I know. Uptown Funk. We should just play Uptown Funk gonna get you. Uptown Funk. I don't know the songs. Is it Uptown Funk? Or am I just mixing that with something else? All right, back to me. The only matters is me. What are we talking about here? I was filming in a live gig in a public place set up by a science fair. This woman saw my camera and just started shouting, GDPR, GDPR at me, waving her arms and covering her face. People are strange. Kids a lot, too. Like, every time they see my camera, they think, are we on TV? It's like, kids, you guys have, like, you should know better. You should know way more. Werner's. Oh, Werner's ginger ale. I just saw this ginger ale that. See, I don't like drinking sugar, but I don't mind the zero sugar stuff, and I like some of the zero stuff. So, I saw that they had zero sugar ginger ale. I'm like, yeah, let's get that. So I got some ginger ale and I got some orange soda. GMA says, let's talk good stuff. Been going through Stanley Kramer's filmography, 50s and 60s. Not a Stranger in Nuremberg, On the Beach, Guessing Who's Coming for Dinner. So many good movies. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be due for that for a while, right? I don't know. Like, so many things nowadays, they're just show offy stuff, and I want to go back and watch. Like, I was going back and watching Lynch's stuff. I watched Blue Velvet again. Oh man, that was a good movie. I watched. I started watching a little bit of Eraserhead, and I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. You don't have captions in this? We don't have captions in the live stream? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess not. I mean, but it's fascinating that I think Facebook does do live transcription auto captioning. So we did stream to Facebook, and I think Facebook does that. It's crazy. I'm missing my Oscar dude. He's not back. I'm in pain and suffering without my Oscar dude. All right, Ariana Grande. Well, the Oscars gives Amelia Perez Best Original Song, El Mal. Well, at least it wasn't that one that we all know from Amelia Perez. I don't know. I feel like that movie. I don't think it's gonna win because of all the reverse cancellation that happened with one of the actors and all that. But I tried watching a little bit of it, and I was not impressed. Oh, History of Canon would be great. Okay, we gotta do that one. I haven't done anything, honestly, on anything. I've been sick. I've been trying to, there's still some work being done on my studio. They put in some of the wiring. I was trying to run the network wiring today through the conduit, but the problem is it's getting stuck somewhere. And I don't know, so there must be something in the conduit that's breaking or something. So we got to figure out what's going on. And I don't know, I'm just tired. Oh, we got a new person on our stream. This lady here, look at those earrings. Oh my God. I'm just gonna watch. There is more drama in this stream with those earrings, because I'm like, okay. First of all, are those earrings like reinforced, like going around her ear, or is her earlobe basically withholding the entire force of that earring? That is. Oh, I would be terrified to have those on my ears. Like, holy moly. Oh my God. I kind of miss our Bruno Mars guy, but she's pretty good. She doesn't have the Bruno Mars kind of like attitude. Yeah. Nah, it's all right. Okay. But those earrings, man. they've got to be supported by the ear, right? Because I'm seeing like they wrap around the entire ear. Because like just one quick movement of the head and your earlobe is just ripped off right there. That looks rough. All right, that was a lot. That was an exciting. That was an exciting turn of events that happened there. I think that's the most exciting thing that happened on this Oscar telecast. The fact that we saw the Oscar lady change. Watch Electric Boogaloo. It's a very good documentary on the history of canon films for your research. I'm also curious. I'm going to start incorporating it. How is AI going to work in my research? So I feel like AI is going to be pretty important. I mean, if I could use AI to sort of parse a few things that, as I do research, and I was actually believe it or not, talking to Blurbusters about this, because we were talking about like ChatGPT back, and this is like 3 years ago, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And he was saying like how useful AI is for doing research, for doing internet research. Like it's a great way to really dig deep into like what's going on as far as like understanding what it is that a source is saying, or cross-referencing with some other sources. So it can do a lot of legwork for you. All right. I'm trying to see what other... Oh my gosh. Conan O'Brien's sketch about cinema streaming where it's like a bunch of phones on your... All right. That's not bad. Fox News says Reagan screenwriter claims DEI requirements excluded his film from Best Picture nomination. I don't think that's the only thing excluded him from Best Nomination. I think it's the whole fact that it's about Reagan that excluded it from. I don't think the Academy would ever. Oh, I love. No, she was. Okay, so somebody must have won because now the lady is in like acceptance speech mode. Ooh, I'm liking this. Yeah. Something about like we're all brought this together. And it's some, I don't know. Come from the heart. This has got to be an acceptance speech. Right? It's totally got to be an acceptance speech. Let's figure out what it is. Who won? Who won? Ben Stiller presenting the best set design. Documentary short film, The Only Girl in the Orchestra, Molly O'Brien, Lisa Remington. Netflix original documentary. The winner, Only Girl in the Orchestra. There you go. That must have been like a really old, like a story about one of the originals. Oh my gosh, he's doing these like high speed camera movement thingies, and that's pretty impressive. Oh my gosh, a sandworm in Dune plays the harp. Well, that brings us back. All right, what else is going on? The only interesting that happened at the Oscars was Ricky Gervais. Are you thinking of the enemies or the Oscars? I'm trying to see what else is going on. No, not a whole lot. Even our lady's kind of bored. She's like, yeah, something's happening. All right. What should we chat about? We don't have to chat about the Oscars. We don't have to chat about whatever you want. A frame rate question? An AI kind of question? Excuse me. Oh, Golden Globes. You're right. It's Golden Globes. Yeah, that was epic. So Entertainment Weekly just announces or tweeted out here that Hulu was hit with major technical difficulties during the Oscars, with more than 34,000 users reporting the site was down within the ceremony's first hour. I was one of those people trying to get on there too. Let's talk politics if you want. I don't mind. I'll talk politics. It may piss off a lot of people though. I don't know. I think it's about politics is I think what we see online is such a narrow selection of people's politics that we can kind of convince ourselves that things are crazier than they are. John, tell us more what you do. Remind me that you teach and what classes. Do you have a favorite class? I teach one class right now. It's just intro to video production. It's sort of like a very like introductory level to like all things in the world of motion picture. So from like, the basics of video editing, shooting, and sound recording, and all that. And really, it's sort of like get your feet wet in video production. It's so we don't really get too much into like acting or lighting too much. We talk a little about lighting. I give you some history. I give you all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's what I do. Teach one classes, and I teach them on Thursdays and Fridays. And it's a two-day class, and it's a college course, so it's the 16-week class. I have like 26 students in there, and I probably considered boring and fuddy and whatever, but people still show up, so whatever. What I normally do, what pays the bills, is I do a lot of civic work. I do a lot of work for cities, making little videos for whatever things they want to make videos about. Right now I'm kind of working on a homeless documentary, which one of the cities is paying me to try to tell the story of what they're trying to do to help homelessness in California, which is obviously a big issue. I think it's very important. I think it's a very important topic. If you want to talk politics, that's the politics I would like to talk about, is how do we deal with the homelessness situation. If you go online, you'll hear a lot about housing first as a solution for homelessness. And it is for a lot of kinds of homelessness, but for the homelessness that you see on the streets that are the problem, the homelessness that you might think is the worst kind of homelessness, I think housing first is a Band-Aid, not a solution. And, but that's, something I want to kind of address with this documentary. And the city wants to do this because they want to show up. They want to explain to other cities what they're doing to solve homelessness. And it's sort of it's a blend of housing first and a little more like what do you call it? Like responsible. So the reason, and I can go into this a little bit, but homelessness, a lot of what happens at least in the States, the homelessness boils down to mental health. And when I say mental health, I'm including like actual mental health issues like schizophrenia or, those kinds of like mental chemistry imbalances, and drug addiction. Because drug addiction is entirely, drug addiction probably is like 80% of the homelessness. And when we talk about homelessness, again, we got to break it down to several different categories. So there's the homelessness that people experience when they lose a job and they can't afford bills. And okay, that's a certain kind of homelessness. It's called transitional homelessness. Then there's people that are seasonally homeless who maybe work a season and then they go on and off the streets. Okay. And then people like veterans or seniors that don't have income. Again, those are different kinds of homelessness, and you can address those with housing first, and that makes sense. But the chronically homeless are oftentimes people that are A, addicted to drugs, and B, have some sort of like mental issues that they can't get help, right? So yeah, Bruin Feist is like the 2000 subprime crisis. I think that kind of homelessness, yes. So housing first works for that kind of homelessness, right? Because they suddenly kicked out of a house. Okay, that's one kind of homelessness. But the ones that the people that are on the streets that are like, consistently on the streets, begging for money, always dirty, pushing around shopping carts, those people are not not a problem. You can put them in a house. They'll say like, well, if I have to work for this, I don't want to be here. And they choose to be on the streets because for them, that's a better life than being in a house. And a lot of it too, some of those people are relatively stable. We've interviewed a couple of them. The guy that was like pushing 65, been on the streets for like 25 years, just every day walks up and down this thing, and I don't know how you get that person off the streets. I don't know if you can necessarily. The I don't want to put words in the mayor's mouth as far as but a lot of it talk about like, when Reagan got rid of mental health clinics, at least in the state hospitals, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of movies, that kind of place. We got rid of them in California under Reagan. And the argument might be like, well, maybe that was a bad thing because now these people have nowhere to go. But to go back to it, drug addiction is a huge problem. Like I was researching this. It sounds like a crazy, but like a fentanyl hit only costs like $35. Like it's not that expensive, so you can essentially get hooked on these drugs, and you're just kind of stringing along from one hit to the next hit, to the next hit, to the next hit. And again, so and what the city's been doing with homelessness is every week or every month they go out and they try to interact with I think they do it every week or so. They interact with the homeless and try to get them in for treatment and help and all that stuff. And I guess they have statistics. It takes 80 encounters per person. They need to go up to a homeless individual who's living in the freezing cold in a box and be like, "Hey man, we got this place. We've got this place you can go to where you can get cleaned up. You can kind of straighten yourself up for, it's a 30-day called emergency shelter thing." And by the way, our other dude is back, so I can't wait to see what he's going to bring us to. Anyhow, we have this place, man. You can go get cleaned up, and then and a lot of people, again, these people have like drug substance abuse issues, right? And so they need to kind of clean up, and they're always like, "Man, not today, man, not today, dude. Maybe tomorrow. If my friends go, I'll go." I've recorded these people saying that, just that, and they'll say like, "Oh, they'll tell you all these sob stories." That's the other thing. So that's the other thing I gotta remind you guys when you do deal with homelessness, because you're dealing with also substance abuse people. You have no idea the kind of lies that people who have substance abuse issues will lie to your face. Like I'm not being like a jerk about this, but like never trust what a person who's under addiction says to you, because they'll tell you these sob stories. And then you later find out, oh yeah, they had a different story like a week ago when they're out here. They just don't. You can't believe their stories, which makes it really difficult because then you feel like you've been played, right? You feel like you've been played. Yeah, rock bottom can be pretty low for certain people in certain situations, and the worst part is like, I don't know, they're part of it is going to be like they need to have a place to go, and we can't necessarily, it sounds awful, we can't necessarily hold people against their will, but you might have to, I don't know. It's and it's one of those things too. They can go into treatment and they can be like, "Cool, man, I'm getting sober. I'm not doing drugs anymore." And then, like a week later, like that's I like it. It was all right, but I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to go back to drugs. And I lost my job by quitting my job. I lost my job by quitting my job for reasons that made sense at the time, but end up backfiring me. So I've been homeless for unemployment in my parents' house. Yeah, so that kind of homelessness is called hidden homeless. So that's another terminology. So again, remember too, like homelessness isn't just one kind of thing. Like when there are homeless people that live in their cars temporarily, and again, something like that, housing first might be a really good solution, because housing first allows people to kind of create the stability to get back on their feet. If the thing is, those are people that want to get back on their feet. The question is, what do you do with the people that don't want to get back on their feet? You know? What was it Hunter S. Thomas said? You can turn your back on a person, but you should never turn your back on a drug. I did not remember that line. That's an interesting thought. Stefan says, I forgot the Oscars are on today. Yeah, I did until I looked at my phone earlier today. And I think what it was is the Film Threat was doing like their live stream thing. I grew up in a motorhome for a few years. Well, it's not homeless. Not necessarily. So yeah, that's so you asked me what I was doing, Bruin. That's one of the things I've been doing. I'm working with the gala with the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce this week, doing gala stuff. So because they have a gala coming up in the middle of March, so I'm designing the program. I'm editing some videos and some stuff like that for them. I do work for school districts. I do a series of 4 student of the month programs, which is sort of like I don't give my full rate for that one. I charge a little less than my full rate, but it gives me a chance to mess around with live streaming. So I do a lot of live streaming work with that. And then basically those are my big gigs. Oh, I've got a couple videos for the different cities that I'm working with too. The city that does the homelessness it's not just homelessness. I do stuff for them for like publicity and stuff like that. So, oh, sorry about this. CJ, I saw you put this earlier, so I'm glad you repeated it. I got a 2010 to 2160p output on my 2011 HD TV via HDMI to AV converter, despite my TV only going as high as 1080p. I don't know if you did that. I don't think you can. I don't know how you can get the output I don't know how you can get an output it to 1080, because there's only 1080 lines on that thing. Yeah, that's a good question. How do you know it's only a 2160p resolution thing? That's the question. We'll like that. Bruin says that homeless document research is real humanitarian thing. You are a good person for it. You have a good heart. I don't know about that. I do. Well, what I find so interesting about the homelessness thing is I do feel it's a failure of both the left wing for just kind of not being. I think the left is too naive in understanding and thinking that the people are just down on their luck. They're not. The right, however, is too naive about the drugs, because the drugs, I used to be more libertarian, but I think the older you get, the more you realize that people ain't rational. The fundamental principle of libertarian thinking is that everyone's a free agent and that we're all rational. Ain't happening. And if someone's on drugs, it's the opposite of rationality. So all libertarian approaches toward homelessness basically have to have you're willing to let people die. And I got this great shot in my documentary when we did this thing called Count the Homeless. It's called Point in Time Count Pit, and where we hit up a homeless encampment in the middle of a riverbed, which is prone to flooding. And also, remember, California wildfires are a thing, so there's an encampment in the middle of dry brush, and they're burning fires. So you know what that looks like, right? And there was an American flag that was kind of draped over this section, and it was dirty. And I saw we filmed these people around a campfire being not interrogated, but they were being questioned. They weren't in trouble. We were just doing a census of homelessness. And it was kind of like, how can we in this country allow this to happen to people? We should be able to do better. It's just, I don't care if you're left or right. We should be able to do better than this. So, anyhow, I'll get more political than that. Let's just leave it there. So he said it was downsampled from your 2160 to 1080p, but it displayed it via my PS5. So it's a 1080p video if it's downscaled. Yeah. Those are really interesting insights. I think it's an interesting, so a long time ago I got roped into doing. I'll tell the story because I got nothing else to talk about other than Mr. Bruno Mars over here talking about the Oscars. I got handed a client who was working a lot with alcoholics, Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step program. So I got to do a lot of documentaries for these relatively wealthy people who were doing documentaries, and then I got called to do certain little marketing videos for certain rehab centers that had considerable amount of money. So they were like beautiful rehab centers. So it's 12-bed rehab center, like at the top of a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. You know how much that cost them, to live there, to go through that program. But the guy that was I was working with was a guy I could talk about now. He was a producer of the movie, one of the producers of movie about John Prefontaine. I think the name of the movie was Prefontaine. Is that the name? Prefontaine. The film, 1997 biographical movie. Let's see, I'm just looking at his name. Yep, there he is. He's one of the producers. John Lutz. That's the name of the guy. And it was interesting, but he was an alcoholic. And he's an interesting guy. He's a nice guy. But man, he's sort of it was like a backstabber. Right? Like he discovered me. I was younger, I was cheap, and he could just use me to do whatever. So he would sell this. He sold this idea of to this one guy and had me basically do it kind of for free. I don't know how much he charged him, but he probably had me work for free. This one guy who was a NASCAR driver who became an alcoholic and then go through the program and all that and tried to get back to doing NASCAR racing. Right? Now, I made a short film about him and it was inspirational. But what kind of idiot would fund a NASCAR driver who was a alcoholic? Are you insane? Who would back that shit? Right? And I made this document. I made a 5-minute little profile documentary. Everyone was super excited. I was excited because maybe I get to get onto NASCAR circuit and do some more work. Because I was hungry, young hungry filmmaker. I wanted to get out there and do more. Nothing happened to it. Well, look it up 5-6 years later, that NASCAR driver was arrested for drunk driving, going 110 miles an hour in his Camaro. So you'd like to see it? Well, it's not even that good. I'll see if I can find it. Jimmy's back. NASCAR. I doubt it's out there anywhere. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, this is 20 years ago now. I don't think it's out there. But I got to go. Yeah, I went out to the Victorville Speedway and I shot some of his time trials and stuff like that. That was interesting. But anyhow, so that's an example. He had me he paid me next to nothing on that one, maybe gas money, and then he did another a music video for this one guy, and he paid me $1,000 to do this music video. Come to my house. I made a whole low-lying fog thing and all that. And he's just yeah, I know. And it turns around, he turned around and charged that guy $25,000. Paid me $1,000 to do that video. And I'm and I didn't find this out until after he died. So, but he was in Hawaii for a while. He's like, John, we're going to make this documentary about the Duke, Duke, the famous Duke from the surfer guy. Yeah. I'm like, all right. And then he had me working on this other like preacher who was doing this 12-step program. He's talking about the 12 steps in the Bible and kind of combining the Bible and 12-step program. But he's also an alcoholic and a raging asshole though. Anyhow, well, he's telling me, and by the way, this guy still owes the 12-step program Bible study thingy, like owed me money. And I was like, hey, Frank was his name. I was like, hey, Frank, I still need to get paid on this. He's like, oh, I already gave the money to John. And I'm like, well, I can't get a hold of John. He's in Hawaii. And then I find out that John died in Hawaii. John Lutz died. He had drunk himself to death in Hawaii. He drank himself to death there. And that kind of like, shit. He told me he was clean. He was the model of clean, being sober. It made all these documentaries about sober living with him. And this is, by the way, this is not alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a problem with that. I can enjoy alcohol once in a while, but I don't really drink it very often. But anyhow. Yeah, he died. I found out he just drank himself to death. And, and that's kind of started like my understanding of how addicts work, and, like watch movies like, if you watch movies like, what's the Tree Grows in Brooklyn is an example, Ilyan Kazan's movie, and you'll see kind of that kind of personality at play. They make these big promises. Lost Weekend, another movie. Lost Weekend is a movie that Billy Wilder made to show was it the Chamberlain, the guy that wrote Double Indemnity with him. Like, this is what alcoholism looks like, guys. They're fun. They'll promise you the world. They'll say great things. They'll be the life of the party. But God, it's just it's man, damn poor guy, and condolences. Yeah, I felt bad about it. Oh shit! Did I tell you? I had a friend that committed suicide like last around Christmas time, actually. Speaking of which, he wasn't alcoholic though. But yeah, no, I've been surrounded like a lot of crazy mental health stuff. Alcoholics make other people's homeless with debt. It's not untrue. You're not, like that's the problem with homelessness. Another, like we were talking about homelessness. Another facet of homelessness is a lot of homeless people do have family. Well, they all have family. Everyone has family, right? Well, I don't have family anymore. But a lot of homeless people have brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and parents and all that stuff that may or may not take them in. They may take them in, but like the drinking has to stop, or the drugs has to stop, or you have to like do something. You have to pull your own weight. That's the other aspect of things, and boy, you get into a whole another can of worms when you start figuring out like familial connections and how that plays into it. Mental health definitely is more and more. I think the term mental health, so like is also a bigger umbrella now, right? So like somebody would say like drinking, alcohol, booze is a problem. Like I would float like booze underneath mental health. Now my camera is auto tracking me. That's wonderful. I think it's because I waved my hand or something. And the vaccines. I'm still for the most part pro-vaccine, but yes. Yeah, dude, tough love. You can't be dragged down by lies and cheating. Absolutely. And how much, or stealing on top of that, right? I bet you it's not like it's, I bet you they steal stuff from you too. Days of Wine and Roses, another one. Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, Days of Wine and Roses. I mean, this is not new stuff, right? This is stuff that we've known about forever. Familiar connections are probably the origin of most mental health issues. It's probably true, Some of it might be genetic. Some of it might actually just be your terrible, terrible parents or terrible childhood of growing up and all that stuff. People have funded gamer girl bathwater, so funding something involved drunk alcoholic NASCAR. Well, with gamer girl bathwater, you do get some gamer girl bathwater. I mean, hey, that's something of value. You know, I don't know if like at least no one's gonna die from sniffing gamer girl bathwater. Oh, there you go. This is nice. Here, let's see. I know you're a musician, and I found out because I'm more interested in your channel because I'm also a musician who ended up working in the National Theater in Germany in audio and video. It means a lot. If you ever come to Nuremberg, you will be my guest. I would love to come to Nuremberg. Boy, those beers you're carrying, they're pretty epic there. I'm not an alcoholic, so I can have beer. Ew, is that what a gamer girl bathwater? Yeah, it's just like bathwater that supposedly a gamer girl sat in. For all we know, right? Saltburn. That win? Did Saltburn come out this year? I can't remember. Let's take a look let's go back to the Oscars and see what I've missed. Let's check in with our lady with her big giant earrings. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I usually don't go for the short blonde wig hair on the lady, but especially the black lady. But I think she's looking pretty good, actually. I'll be honest. Don't look bad to me. All right, let's see here. All right, refresh. What's going on? They're still going on about Zoe Saldana. That's okay. I Am Not a Robot wins Best Live Action Short. Nice. All right. Best Original Song goes to El Mal. We know that already. Okay. Morgan Freeman takes the stage. Is anyone sick of Morgan Freeman's AI voice? Because I certainly am. Sorry, Morgan. I'm sorry they did that to you. Anna de Armas just always looks beautiful. I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do about that. She's just a radiant beam of sunshine from a cloudless sky, who's there to cheer everyone else in the world, everyone up in the world. All I see is I'm not a robot. Only 8 categories to go, says Deadline Hollywood. Well, that's not bad. We can survive 8 categories, can't we? I have no list of winners. Okay, just go. Let me just list of Oscar winners. There we go. All right. Oh, let's pick a source that we can use. How about LA Times? I can kind of go with that. I think I have a subscription. The reason why I have a subscription to LA Times is because I love the LA Times crossword puzzle. The LA Times crossword puzzle is superior to the New York Times crossword puzzle. You can fight me on that. At very least, their app for the LA Times app for the crossword puzzle is supreme. It's chef's kiss. It is excellent. The LA Times is a piece of garbage. Oh, come on. Don't I have an LA Times? Thought I did. Maybe I got rid of it. Let's see. I might have gotten rid of it. But I still... The reason why I got rid of it was because I thought buying a subscription would get rid of the ads on my LA Times crosswords. And they don't. No, I still have it. I'd rather not fight over crossword puzzles. I love the LA Times crossword puzzle. I really do. I gotta click Google. Like my ex would brag about me to people like, oh, he does the LA Times crossword puzzle. Isn't he smart? But you realize it's like after you've done enough of them, then you start seeing patterns and how these things work, and then you can get really good at crossword puzzles because you start seeing certain trends that you do, certain like types of what do you call them, clues. So it becomes really obvious how. So I mean, I'm not very fast at the crossword puzzles, but I enjoy them, especially late at night before I go to bed. All right, let's see. Oscar winners is here we go. Finally. All right, so visual effects Dune Part 2. That makes sense. Sound Dune Part 2. Again, makes sense. No Other Land for a documentary feature. The Only Girl in the Orchestra for documentary short. Original song El Mal. Production design for Wicked. Yeah, that makes sense. Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. Sean Baker. And then for makeup and hairstyle went to The Substance. That makes sense. Conclave for screenplay. Enora for screenplay. Wicked for costume design. Makes sense. Shadow of the Cypress animated short. Don't know that one. Animated feature Flow. That's the one that you guys were recommending I watch. So I'm going to definitely need to watch that now. Kira Culkin. All right, cool. That's the update. If we're talking about puzzles, I enjoy Hurdle. It's like Wordle, but for music, you get 5 guesses. There you go. I don't find those as entertaining because once you get the first one, you have to wait for the next day. Like I don't like Wordle necessarily because it's too little game for me to play. Like I want to sit down with. It takes me the LA Times. Well, so the LA Times crossword puzzle. Monday is always the easiest puzzle. And then they get progressively harder, with Sunday being the hardest because they make the puzzle twice as or 4 times as big. So it's because it's a Sunday puzzle. And the Monday puzzle the best I've done is like 7 minutes because I'm pretty good at the crossword puzzle. The Saturdays I can take me like 30 minutes, and oftentimes a lot of cheating. Like you'll just like give me a clue on that letter. That's why I mean the puzzles are really good because you can just ask for clues, like reveal the word for me because I give up. I don't know. But anyhow, it can take me 30 minutes. So with like Wordle, like click click click. Oh, I'm done. I'll have to wait till tomorrow. It's like I just got my brain in the game mode. Let me keep gaming. So the great thing about LA Times puzzles is like I can go a couple days and I can go back and then do the ones that I missed. So I'll play LA. I'll do crossword puzzles for like an hour, and I just enjoy those, man. I used to do a lot with my ex-girlfriend. She suggested we do like a Scrabble game, and I told her, well, I've been doing a lot of crosswords, so she's like, no, we should do Scrabble. Well, we did that Words with Friends, and I try to play it off as nice, but like I was kicking her butt so hard. And she'd play with me. She'd try to beat me, but like I would always come back with and just like sneak in these crazy words and get like insane number of points. And I think that's why she broke up with me, because I literally kicked her butt at Words with Friends. But yeah, no, I'm just being facetious. But like. Yeah, no, we played for a while, and then she just stopped playing because I guess she didn't think it was fun getting her butt whooped by me. Anyhow, I hope I'm doing well. I don't know. I haven't been doing well the last 2 weeks. I've been sick. So yeah. Oh, the opening of Sequence of Saltburn has a guy licking the bathwater off a floor. Nice. She seems like my lady type. Is that you're talking about the signer girl? I'm pretty open as far as lady type. Relatively open. Is Flight Risk up for Best Picture? I don't think Flight Risk is eligible because I don't think it came out last year. It came out like 2025. So it wouldn't be eligible for 2024. Saw the behind the scenes of Flight Risk. They had an impressive 33-foot, 270-degree LED screen volume, projected 27K video plays from 6 times 8K red Raptors, and aerial rig, plane and interiors are all real. That's pretty cool. They didn't just use Microsoft Flight Simulator like I would have. I used to play the spammy word games like when I used Lexica. Let me look up Lexica. I liked Words with Friends, but after a while, like it felt kind of dumb because I was playing the same words over and over again. Whereas I'd rather prefer like crosswords, because crosswords have a bit of a humor to them. You know, they'll ask you certain clues, and they're like, you know, the clues will be like something that you think is obvious, but they're kind of like going for something a little different, and it's just funny. It's like little puns inside some of these crossword puzzles, which I enjoy. But it's LA Times, so it's a very liberal bent. AOC shows up again and again in LA Times crossword puzzles. Oh my gosh, this one week it was like two crossword puzzles in a row had the clue AOC. I'm like, guys, come on, come up with, how about MGT? You want to balance it out a little bit. Not that I'm a big fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but like, come on, AOC. You know, stop pushing that. Lexica doesn't seem like a crossword thing. It's an AI thing. Anyhow. Got me to look at it. We're back to Bruno Mars. I'd almost want to do this. All right, let's just do this. What you gotta do, you gotta put on the Bruno Mars with he's actually like right on the beat with some of these things. All right, I'm gonna get demonetized. Whatever. No, so with LA Times, you can actually play 14 days worth. It's a rotating 14 days puzzle. So you can get the last 14 days. I thought by subscribing I get access to the entire catalog, but no, that's not the case either. But yeah, no, so if you don't play it for a couple days, you can let it build up a little bit, and then you can have a nice fun. Believe it or not, I shouldn't do this, but like I did play it in the bathtub. I was freaking out, like, don't drop the phone in the bath. Like, I got this walk-in tub that I bought my mom when I was living here. She was still alive. And it's a little bit small for me, although I'm losing weight, so maybe it'll fix that itself. But it's just, I get in there with an Epsom salt bath, and I just really have a good one with that one. So we check out. Let's go a little more on the Bruno Mars. Here we go. All right, that's really bad, John. You should not be doing that. That is awful. You should not be syncing up the Uptown Funk to the Oscars live casting ASL guy. It just looks a little like Bruno Mars to me. I don't know. What the hell? Oh, this is the weird shit you come here for, right? Watch John get demonetized. Watch him get canceled. He's making fun of the ASL guy. Oh, no. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. I don't care about anything. You bought your Nintendo DSL XL in the shower once. It broke. Oh, you brought it into the shower. Yeah, don't do that. Shower shower is different than bath. Like bath, I can keep it above the water. Oh my gosh. The dude was definitely moving his hands. Now he's just kind of like just chilling. He's just, yeah. He's not quite doing that now. He's chilling out a little bit. All right, do we have another winner here? Let's see what the LA Times tells us. Nope, not yet. No new winner. Oh, and you need to dry your hands off. Well, the trick with that is don't get your hands wet in the first place. Because I just get the water turned on, and then I sit there while the whole thing's water. While the water is leveling up, I sit and I do the crossword puzzle. That's how I do it. You gotta be careful. Don't take any pictures in there because there's a little like the thing that like controls the drain. It's reflective, so you may be taking a picture of your feet, but you see everything in that reflection. Everything been seen. It's like Patrick Stewart says. I've seen everything. It's too late. I've seen everything. All right. Oh man. I'll hang out for a little bit see if we can hang out until the Oscars are over. I've got nothing to go and I'm not hungry. I made some ribs the other night in my smoker, and I got them okay, but I feel like they could go a little bit more, so I'm going to throw them in the steam cooker for a little bit and heat them up that way. I probably won't eat, but I'm going to throw them all in the steam cooker just so I can get them a little softer. Cinematography, Lowell Crowley for The Brutalist. I'm not familiar enough with The Brutalist, honestly. Brutalist, escaping post-war Europe, visionary architect comes to America to rebuild his life, career, and marriage. On his own, in a strange new country, settles Pennsylvania, where a wealthy and prominent industrialist recognizes his talent. So it's about architecture. Wasn't there controversy over AI that was used? Oh, another A24 universal focus. I don't really understand what the AI was all about with that movie. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through too much of it. Have you ever seen the Patrick Stewart sketch he did with Ricky Gervais? He's like handing Ricky Gervais a script. He's like, you know, what happens is I get Ana de Armas, and she's in the movie, right? I go in her dressing room, and she's naked, and she's, oh my gosh! So she turns around and throws on a robe. But you see, Ricky, it's too late because I've seen everything. I've already seen it all. I've seen it all. Ricky Gervais is like, okay, do you have any other ideas? Yeah, I got this one with like Scarlett Johansson, and she's in a locker room and she's getting changed, and I come in and she's naked. You see, she's naked, but she quickly turns on a towel. She turns around and puts on a towel, but it's too late. It's too late because I've already seen everything. See, that's the thing. I've seen everything. It's a great sketch. Oh my god. So look it up if you haven't seen it. It's really funny. It's I think it's what the extras thing that I never watched that show, but the bits and pieces I've seen of it are so good. Ribs, they come out pretty good in my slow cooker. Yeah. I just want to get them a little bit more I want to get them like the consistency closer toward like pulled pork kind of consistency. I may not be able to do that, but I still want them a little bit softer. Just because I cooked them to about 195 degrees. I probably should have taken them to like 200 freedom units as Fahrenheit. For those of us not in Fahrenheit land. But yeah, so I want to cook it a little bit more next time. Oh, there we go. All right, enough of that. All right, I wanted to get to this one. I'm getting an M2 SSD for my PS5 thanks to my tax return. It's currently expected to arrive tomorrow. Sweet. Did I tell you guys I've joined the dark side and I bought myself a Mac Pro Mini? So, well, in my studio, I want to use, I want to set up a media server. And I didn't want to take one of my old computers because I really wanted low power draw. And the Mac Mini just looked to me like the lowest power draw. I mean, it's so small, right? How much power could it really take? It's not like a big giant PC. It's going to suck up like 250 watt, 500 watts, 700 watt, computer. I wanted something small, so I thought the Mac Mini might be perfect. I went online on eBay, bought a used one for like $200, something like that. And it's been still in the box. I need to open it up. Probably need to open it tonight after I get on the stream. I'll just mess around with it and just get used to it. I've used Macs obviously, but I've never like really used them for anything. But I also wanted to get off of Dropbox. I think I might have told the story. In a class, one student brought in a hard drive, and I just thought it was not functional. I thought it was unformatted. So I went and formatted it for her and gave it back to her. She says, "Did you format this?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I had all my stuff on it." I'm not realizing it was a Mac drive that she was using. All the lab PCs are PC. So, so that made me really rethink about how I do backups, And currently, I have a backup system where all my data is stored on a NAS, which is a Buffalo Terra station. It's got about 20 terabytes on there. It is 10G. It is a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection to that thing. So I have relatively fast, it's not the fastest they're going to get, but if I run like Blackmagic disk speed, disks, and I may change how I do this. I'm not sure. But if I run the disk speed, oh shit, that's way too fast. Come on, I'm not doing that number. I want to do Drobo, it's that one. So if you can see over here, I don't know, this might be hard to see. I'm doing about like 200 up and down, which is not terribly slow, but it's not terribly fast. It's not bad at all. If you can see, it handles most up to this. Well, I can barely read that. Let's say now it's going 400. So it does handle quite a bit of data here as far as playback and speeds. I mean, for the content that I work with, 400 megabits a second, it's perfectly feasible. Now, I do have this. I love this one. This one I have called the M2 folder here. Check this one out. Boom! God, I love the speed on that sucker. Yeah, that's pretty fast. I should have used that drive more often for my work, but I don't, because I like the convenience of having all my stuff in one location, the central drive like that. And so anyhow, I have the Buffalo station has built-in ability to go from to the hard drive to back up straight to Dropbox. The problem with that is you need quite a bit of Dropbox space. In order to get the kind of Dropbox space, we're talking like 40 terabytes worth of stuff on Dropbox I have stored there. It costs like $120 a month. And it's just feeling like that's just too much money. And I discovered how to set up my own Amazon S3 bucket. So I use I'm planning to use Amazon as a Glacier backup process. And I think the math works out. It's going to be, let's see, look up the Amazon Glacier prices. Amazon Glacier price. It's the S3 Glacier prices. There's different tiers of Glaciers. So what Amazon Glacier is like a low access data storage, which is exactly what I want for a backup. I do not want to ever. You don't actually want to be working from the backup. You just want that in case something happens locally, where I lose all my footage, right? Oh, I'm not gonna go look. I'm not gonna big up my stuff right now but I just wanted to see the pricing on this dang thing. S3 pricing. But it was something like zero point 0.3 cents a gigabyte or something like that. I mean, it adds up over time, but I think it'd be cheaper than the $100 a month I was paying for Dropbox. There's pricing. There we go. There's a pricing calculator. All right. I don't know. Here we go. Local zone. In Oregon is the cheapest for me. Denver. Portland, actually. Service is Glacier. Anyhow, well, I mean, I think it would be closer in the neighborhood of if I were to put up like 16 terabytes, which is how much data I usually use. We'll see you later, Bullet Science. Have a good night. We'll let you know when movie wins the Oscar tomorrow. Let's see, calculator. 16,000 gigabytes times 0.03. But you make $48 a month or something like that. So it might be a lot cheaper doing that. 124. Yeah, I don't. What about Mega? I wonder what Mega. So I mean, the nice thing about Dropbox is it is instant retrieval. So like you don't have to worry about any of that. You know. They don't have to worry about so with Amazon Glacier, if you want to recover something, there's different levels of Glacier. There's something that's like instant retrieval, then there's like 5 to 10 minute to a 24 hour, and that's most of my stuff would go there. And if it's longer term storage, it's like takes like 24 hours plus to recover, but then it's super cheap, right? So that's what I want to try and do. Again, this kind of backup is not for like daily. I mean, you don't do it necessarily daily. You would do it like weekly, and then we would do incremental backups every week. And that way, just in case, because my Buffalo Terra station is a RAID 6, so if one drive fails, you still have, some backup protection that way. I also want to do locally onto another, like a hard drive, like maybe I have a Drobo, which are discontinued. I mean, I might try to use that for as long as I can as just a daily backup, I have two forms of data. That's another layer. But if I have a Drobo for local backup and I back up regularly to the cloud with Amazon Glacier, I feel like I'm 100% covered. I'm entirely safe and secure because the Buffalo has this one layer of protection with the RAID 6. I've got a backup, locally, and I've got the cloud backup. There's nothing that can happen other than just like something happening with the data between when it gets backed up before it gets backed up, right? So anyhow, that's my plan. So anyhow, the problem with that is the Buffalo station can talk to Amazon, but it has a lot of trouble sending data up there. So I want to use the Mac Mini in order to set up those backups and use that so I want to use it as a media server to feed like my televisions in my house. I want to use it to do regular backups using the network drives. That's kind of why I like doing the network drive, so I can always have access to the files anywhere I go or anywhere I am on any computer that I'm in the house. Question someone asked me if it's M2 or no, if it's a M1 chip. I don't know. I don't know enough about Macs. I wasn't too concerned about it, whether it was, because I wasn't going to try to do any kind of editing on it. I'll tell you what model I got, though. I got... Where is the one I got recently? Purchases. I got the 2018 Mac Mini i7 8700B. 27 Apple iMac i7. Let's Google that. And I spent $281, almost $300. That's after shipping too, so everyone's like, "Oh, it's the 128 internal SSD." Yeah, I don't care though. I'm not using it for that. I'm using the media server stuff will be off on my network on a network drive. But I'm curious to see. I don't think that's the M card. Let's see. It's just an Intel Core, I think. Anyhow. Yeah. So that's what I have to open it up and set up. I've never set up a Mac before, so that'll be fun. My girl's back. Yeah. Got the big ass earrings. God, those are scary. That is, I'm just afraid something's gonna happen, and those earrings are gonna like cause something seriously crazy to happen. Good news for the movie I'm Still Here, even though I think the Oscars are a pretty pathetic celebration. The whole movie based on a movie has good reasons to celebrate awards like this. I bought a 15 pieces of Dell WWise 5070 for 350 euros. Interesting. Yeah, those earrings are big, CJ. I know. That's the whole drama of the whole. Will those earrings like rip her ears off? Let's see. What is a Dell Wise 5070? Oh yeah, those little things. Yeah, those are thin. How old are those things? For $48 on eBay. They even have is that HDMI or not? Well, I did want to make sure I get one that was low power, but also I was kind of wanting to just lean toward Mac just so I could have a Mac. Oh, I love this. She's dancing. She's dancing. Yeah, there we go. Here we go, girl. Here you go, girl. I'm telling you, this is the best stream ever. And for those of you that say, hey, how come there's no sound on this video? It's ASL. There's not going to be sound. They can't hear it anyway. Yeah. This is good stuff. Oh, maybe we should put this to the funk. Maybe let's try that. Yep. All right, very good. This girl's that's happening tonight, man. Just goes to show you the Uptown Funk will basically sync to practically anything. Anything you throw at it, it's gonna sync up. Oh, they have display ports. 6 to 8 watts. Nice. Well, I got a Mac, so screw that. I didn't think about it. I did see the ones. Oh, don't reboot it, just patch it. There you go. I did see Amazon had a few like really cheapy low power, like low small PC, they call them. But I just didn't trust them because I wanted this thing to be on for like a long, long time. So like something like this thing called a B-Link. I'll just put it over here. Oh, I need to put that on. Yeah. Like this guy right here. B-Link Sierra Pro Mini PC AMD Ryzen 7 16 gigabytes 500 gigabytes M2 drive, so forth. I just for $275 I just didn't trust it. Honestly. Well, I probably could have gotten that. But I kind of wanted to just have a Mac in there. With my tax return, I had a choice between buying a new TV or an M2 SSD, and while a new TV would have been awesome, I would have had a storage problem with my PS5, so I just went with the latter. Yeah, it's true. It's a good idea. I have yet to do my taxes, and I am probably not going to get a return. I'm hoping I might, because I did pay estimated taxes this year. So hopefully I might get some. Well, at least hopefully I don't have to pay anything. That's always the bitch is that the pay. I don't want to pay anything. And hopefully, next year, hopefully all this stuff I'm doing with the studio is going to make it so I don't pay anything. Hey, Helium Road. Let's find out what other Oscars may have passed as we've been chatting here. Oh, all right. Here we go. Get rid of that window. All right. Don't believe me, just watch. All right. Best Emergent Score, Daniel Bloomberg, The Brutalist. That's maybe why she was dancing to it. International Feature, I'm Still Here. I'm Still Here. Cinematography. Oh yeah, we talked about that one already. All right. I Am Here Now is Neil Breen's movie, right? Oh, that's one that Fernando Torres was in. And Fernando Montenegro. Gotcha. I Am Here Now. That movie is just crazy. I want to see the Neil Breen. I was thinking about doing a Neil Breen, not marathon, but a Neil Breen, marathon, I guess it would be, and we'd call it bring. The rule is though you have to bring someone who has never seen a Neil Breen movie. So we got Double Down, I Am Here Now, Fateful Findings, Pass Through, Twisted Pair, and then Cade the Tortured Crossings. I think my favorite might be Double Down. Double Down and Fateful Findings are my favorites. Fateful Findings for definitely sure is probably my second favorite. Double Down is always really good because that's the start of his career. I Am Here Now. I don't think I've seen that one. No, I have. I think Pass Through. I need to go back and watch some of these again. My new studio is going to be a tax write-off? Oh, of course it is. Are you kidding me? Total tax write-off. I mean, it's 100% business related, so I'm not like the thing about my life, though. I tell people this is my life is sort of a tax write-off because I don't really have a life outside of my work. My work and my life are intertwined in many ways. Ernest Scared Stupid. Love it. I just rewatched Superman 2, still the best. Terrence Stamp, the real General Zod. And then, of course, Gene Hackman. Rest in peace. He was like 96, though. People, I mean, did they ever figure out what it was? It was like a gas leak or something that happened? What? 2 days ago, according to the New York Times. I don't want to pay your freaking thing. Here, let's go to that one. God, come on. Allow ads. Jeez. No obvious signs of foul play. Tested negative for carbon monoxide. Cardiac arrest caused by a normal pulse rate. The pacemaker keeps track of the pulse. They didn't have any injuries, no carbon monoxide. The most common cause in this country: severe heart disease, coronary, high blood pressure. So maybe he died as his heart gave out, and then she might have like killed herself because she with the pills or something like that. That sucks. Yeah, that's sad. Not having a life outside of work is sad. I don't, I mean, it is a little bit, but my work is so much fun. So it's kind of hard, like to me, like my work extends from like video and filmmaking to painting to art to, even a little bit of traveling and all that stuff. So I think when I tell people about my life, people like, holy, and then playing trumpet too, which is also taxable work. And people kind of think like I'm super busy and stuff like that. And I can't keep myself pretty busy and occupied. I don't really have a lot of nights, so I just sit around at home. Well, I do, but a lot of nights I'm out doing something. My list of actors whose presence make any movie better is called the Gene Hackman list. Nice. Cool. So I am here now has won the Oscar. I'm sorry. I am still here. How many more categories are left? Oprah and Whoopi Goldberg are on stage. Coleman Domingo leads the audience dancing away to Queen Latifah singing one of Quincy Jones' hits from the Wiz. Oh yeah, Quincy Jones passed away, right? So we had that. Oh, gosh, every year we do this, like people get upset that Michelle Trachtenberg was left out of the memorial segment. I think it's because they died too recently. Like you gotta die like within a certain time period in order to like get in the list. But it's like if you died like a few weeks ago, or not even a week ago, she died like a few days ago. She died February 26th. You can't make the list because you're just not on the list. You'll be the next one. On top of that, like, was she an Oscar? Was she an Academy member? Because those things are for Academy. That's for the Oscars. Shelley Duvall, Louis Gossett Jr., James Earl Jones, Maggie Smith, like Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman wouldn't have time to have been on there. No matter what happens, there are 10 headlines about who got snubbed, and nothing can be done about it. So it's always, every time, dude, it's always somebody complaining. Anything else interesting? Sorry for the silence there. And that's why we were dancing as Queen Latifah was singing. That makes sense. All right. Anyhow, personally, I hate award show. Sometimes they're kind of fun if you know what's going on. But like I do the Temecula Chamber of Commerce, I've been doing their award show for the chamber thing, and I don't always know who anybody is. I actually know who the winners are now because I'm in the know. But yeah, unless I really know them, it's not like special. I had to do that. I was getting thirsty. She died in 2025. Well, there is actually a cutoff date. Like, remember the one year that Joan Rivers was not in it partly because she's not a movie person. Memoriam cutoff date. Oscars. So the Academy of Partridge lists of eligible for Oscar awards and based on deaths that occur after February 1st. So, unless it's like a super big star, they can't just like stop everything and like, we got to include this person that died like literally a day ago. Like, it just doesn't work. And people just like, stop it. Oh, excuse me. Anyhow. Da, 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 da. All right. Gene Wilder and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was such a treasure. Oh, Gene Wilder. I was thinking we're talking about. I thought we were talking about Gene Hackman. I'm like, was Gene Hackman in Willy Wonka? And the best credits list award go to. Hey, there's still 21 people on here. I hope you're from Keebler. Well, that really makes sense. All right, what do we? Come on, let's see if we have another winner on our Oscar list. Oh man, actor in a leading role, Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, winner. So now we're in the final category. Home stretch on this thing. When I was a kid, I remember Oscar night was always the night. I always go bowling on Sundays. I should go bowling tonight. But anyhow, I don't want to go out of the house. I'm tired. I'm lazy. But Oscar night was always Sunday. Oscar night was always bowling night. So I would go with my friend, and back in those days they would start the Oscars a little later, and they would always like cut into like, because the bowling started precisely at 9 p.m. 9 o'clock was when the bowling started. You bowled from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and it was $10. And you could bowl as much as you want for 3 hours, 2.5 hours essentially. They start cutting you off about 11:30, but technically you can go until 12. But yeah, I remember like every time the Oscars came on, I was like, my friend, we were always like, come on, let's get going. It's the Oscars, I want to see who wins, but I don't really care. I want to go bowling. So I haven't been bowling in a while. I put on my dating profile. I'm like, I'll be very impressed if you beat me at bowling. Which is, and one girl was trying to like challenge me. I'm like, I don't think you'd understand what kind of pain you're getting yourself into. Because I average in the 190s, maybe 200. How Nickelodeon did the Kids' Choice Awards when I was a kid was awesome. Heck, even the new cartoons like Danny Phantom were previewed right after the Kids' Choice Awards. Well, the thing about award shows is ultimately they're not about merit, they're about advertising. And then, Louis B. Mayer pretty much stated it at the very beginning. I think one of the stories goes, I hear that he was trying to get his carpenters to build his house, his mansion. He wanted the set carpenters to do that, and they wouldn't do it. And so he's like, there's got to be a way to like get people to do things the way we want them to do it. So when he was trying to figure this thing out with actors, he's like, well, let's do this. Let's create an award show. And then we can like dangle we can give them medal. I'm gonna pull the quote for you. It's worth the quote. It's worth reading out loud here. Louis B. Mayer Oscar quote. He said, quote, I found that the best way to handle filmmakers was to hang medals all over them. If I got them cups and awards, they'd kill themselves to produce what I wanted. That's why the Academy Award was created. That's obviously 1927, things have changed. It's become a different thing, but that's the reason why they were invented. And nowadays they kind of serve as a marketing tool to kind of tell you like, oh, this movie won the Oscar, everyone should see it, and it's maybe a smaller movie that no one's ever heard of and that kind of thing, So yeah, CJ, wow. Absolutely. But that's that's why the Oscars were invented. That's kind of why how they function these days is sort of a marketing thing. So it is what it is, So, people are like, oh, you're going to win an Oscar for this. I'm like, I don't care. Pay me. I'd rather make a lot of money than get an Oscar. Because Oscar don't feed your next movie. I mean, you can, but Oscar doesn't like put food on the table. Just joining because I was working on a project as for the Oscars. Well, I was busy. There you go. On an unrelated note, I know David Lynch interviewed a monkey. It's called "What Did Jack Know?" All right, let's see if So there are a few impressions I can do, and one of them is David Lynch. I can do a version of David Lynch. And last time I did it on stream, people seemed to like it, so I want to do it again here. But I need a script because it's very difficult. Write me a short script that sounds like David Lynch monologuing about the difference between chimps and bonobos. Let's see what AI will give us. You ever think about chimps, don't you? Hairy little fellas screaming through the trees, smashing things up with their fists like they're auditioning for some kind of jungle opera. Chaos, pure and simple, like a tire fire that won't quit burning. That's the chimp way. They're loud and messy. They'll rip your arms off just see what's inside. And you can feel that, can't you? That raw electric howl sitting deep in the bones of the world. Now, bonobos, that's a different story altogether. They glide through green and quiet got these eyes that look right through you, knowing something you don't. They don't smash, they touch. They don't scream, they whisper. Sex and shadow, that's their language, tying knots in the air with it, keeping the peace in a way that feels like a secret you weren't supposed to hear. Chimps fight to the end, but bonobos, they love you right into the ground. Hey, X Crimson's got a good point. This stream has the same viewership as the Oscars. That's true. Oh my gosh. So that's my David Lynch impersonation. Watch 2 minutes. Think it was the best costumes. Bizarrely ass kissy and scripted. Zero cool. Yeah, that's the David Lynch one. Let's see. I'm just trying to come up with another script that. All right, so this one, my other impersonations, I can kind of do Quentin Tarantino. So we're going to try to do this. Okay, listen, man, because I'm just going to say this once. Wookiees are the sexiest damn creatures in the whole freaking universe. And if you don't get that, you're missing the plot, all right? I mean, look at them. You got these big, shaggy bastards, 7 feet of pure, untamed vibe, just like James Morris on a grizzly bear had a love child and dipped it into whiskey. That fur? That's not just fur, man. It's a statement. Like walking, roaring shag carpet of rebellion saying, yeah, I'm primal. I don't give a damn what you think. And that growl, arr, arr, it's not just noise, it's foreplay, baby. It's like Marvin Gaye gargling gravel, hitting you right in the gut, making your knees weak. You think Han Solo kept Chewbacca around for just a bowcaster? Hell no. That man knew what he's riding shotgun, right? Ultimate wingman, loyal, fierce, and sexy as all get out. Wookiees don't mess with pickup lines. They just loom, right? It's just big old paws and lanky swagger strapping ammo belts like the fashion show on Kishak. And don't get me started on the vibe, man. The vibe. They're warriors, poets, mechanics, all rolled into one hairy package. You think Leia was sneaking glances at Chewie while Han was running his mouth? Please. Wookiee's got that raw, unfiltered mojo. No wax, no razors, just pure animal magnetism. Every other species in the galaxy out there is trying to play cool, but Wookiees, they don't try, they just are. Sexiest damn things breathing, and that's the gospel truth, my friends. All right, that was not great, but that was a nice little monologue, though. I gotta give AI a little credit for that monologue. So. Anyway, yeah, that was not quite that good. My girl's back. We started talking about I mean it's ABC. Yeah, baby. I think my David Lynch one was a little more closer to Norm Macdonald doing. Norm Macdonald did 2 impersonations on SNL that I remember, and one was David Lynch. It's like, listen, man, listen, like this is the way he has to go, and the other one was David Letterman. It's like those 2 impersonations, and those are kind of like how I go into it. Those are the only 2 I can do. Oh my gosh! Wow, here I thought all you knew about was TVs and frame rates. Well, of course, that's all I know. All right, what other impersonations can we do? What terrible impersonations can I have AI tell me to write? I could do a terrible Seinfeld. Burt Reynolds? I can't do a Burt Reynolds. I don't know how to do a Burt Reynolds. All right, let's see if we can do this one. You ever notice how the Oscar? Okay, I'm just. You ever notice? I can't get the Jerry Lewis. Not the. I can't do the Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with peanuts? Okay, what's the deal? What's the deal? No, what's the deal? Remember that old SNL or that old Conan O'Brien sketch? The deal. What's the deal? What's the deal with corn nuts? Okay, I'll never get that sound in my head. You ever notice how the Oscars is just boring? I mean, what's the deal with that? It's supposed to be this big glamorous night, Hollywood's Super Bowl, right? But it's 4 hours of people in tuxedos clapping for other people in tuxedos, and half the time you're sitting there going, who is that? You've got a category called Best Sound Mixing. Sound Mixing? That's not an award, it's a job description. Hey, congratulations. You turned the knob just right to get the explosions, didn't drown out the crying. Oh, give me a break. And the speeches. Oh, the speeches. Every single one's like, I'd like to thank my great agent, my mom, my 3rd grade teacher who told me I could do anything. Meanwhile, I'm at home, 3 pretzels deep, wondering, what are they going to pan to Jack Nicholson looking confused in the front row? It's like a telethon for self-congratulations, but without the catchy jingle. The dresses, everyone's obsessed with the dresses. Who are you wearing? Who cares? It's fabric. It's not curing cancer. It's just sequins and a lot of hope. This is terrible. And then you've got the host, some poor comedian sweating bullets trying to make a room full of millionaires laugh at jokes about their own movies. Hey, how about that 3-hour epic about the sad painter? Really nailed that brushstroke. It's a snooze fest with a $1 billion budget. I'd rather watch paint dry. Ironically, it's probably going to win the best cinematography. Oscars are like that fancy dinner party where everyone's too polite to admit the food's terrible, and I'm here yelling, "Can we just get a pizza already?" Okay, that's a terrible ending. All right, so Grok does do something really mean, and I've done this to myself. Roast me, and it is rough. So you gotta check it out. Okay, so this is what happens when I ask Grok to roast me, and it gets really fucking deep. Oh, look at you sitting there like you're the main character in the story nobody's reading. What's your deal? Did you stumble out of bed thinking, yeah, I'll ask AI to roast me because my life's not sad enough already? I bet your inbox is just a graveyard of unread spam in your mom's texts asking if you're still alive. You're the human equivalent of a participation trophy, technically here, but nobody's impressed. I'd say you're a hot mess, but that implies something that's hot about you. Nah, you're just a mess part, like a microwave dinner that didn't even cook through. Your sense of humor is probably so dry it could dehydrate a cactus. Yet here you are thinking you're edgy for asking me to dunk on you. Bro, your life's a rerun of a show that got canceled after one season. And even the laugh track's phoning it in. God. That's rough. All right. So there you go. That's enough fun with... That was broadly accurate to Seinfeld with that Seinfeld impression. Yeah, I don't know. It was not very good. I don't claim to. I claim to only have like 2 impressions. Although my Quentin Tarantino's needs a little polish apparently. Let's ask her what she thinks. What do you think of my Seinfeld? Well, really? Oh. Yeah, all right. Wow. Oh, yeah, let's get going. All right, let's see who won the next thing. Actress in the leading role is Mikey Madison for Honora. Wow. Demi Moore did not win. Sean Baker just had another win of the director role. My God, he's on a roll tonight. Tonight's Sean Baker's like best day ever. It's good to be Sean Baker. I think I want to watch. I'm gonna definitely need to try to watch Honora. Where can I watch Honora? Honora, can I watch it on? I have to go to the theater. Nothing wrong with that. I can watch it on, I guess, on YouTube for $5, $6. I don't even know what Nora's about. It's a beleaguered marriage between Nora, a sex worker, and Vanya, who is the son of a Russian oligarch. All right, why not? It's a romantic comedy. I'm into those. Well, yeah, it's good to be Sean Baker tonight. All right, what else is you guys are saying? I'm watching on Hulu. They stopped live streaming before the show even announced the best picture. What? They stopped already, or is it just like technical difficulties still? Huh. Oh, we're down to 14 viewers. I guess all of you tuning into the real show. Yeah, so we got actress and we got actor. We got what? Original screen, the best director and best film, right? Oh, hold on. She's doing something. There are 12 viewer here. Yep. Now we're up to 17 now. 17 viewers. I wonder how many people are watching The Oscars. 17. Here we go. Something's happening. I can't read ASL, but something's happening. No one knows. All right. Mickey Madison for Honora. She looks excited, so something must be going on. This is a very weird way of watching the Oscars, is watching their ASL interpretation channel. Because I have nothing else, like nothing, there's no other way to watching it that I have the ability to. Oh, every time I click on that, it goes away, huh? Interesting. All right, well, maybe I shouldn't click on it. I should click on that. All right, let's see here. Oh, is this the best actor? No, okay, we already saw that. Nora. Everyone's talking. Oh, best picture, Honora. There you go. So Baker won best director. So Honora wins best picture, best actress in the leading role, best director, and he won best screenplay and editor too. So I mean, that's feels like Sean Baker just literally did like a hat trick right there. That's like pretty impressive. I mean, both the writing, editing, and directing. That's like all three trades. Yeah, right? She knows what I'm talking about. She's look how excited she is. Bye. Is she saying goodbye? It's like, I can get these damn earrings off. Jesus Christ. I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt with the earrings. Are those supposed to be like... They look like sweet beans or something like that? That is crazy. There they are. Thanks for watching. There we are. Thanks for watching. Don't feel free to hit the subscribe button. Share this video with your friends and your enemies and your loved ones. All right, well, there you are. There's the pathetic live stream of the Oscars. Well, congratulations, Sean Baker, man. That's pretty impressive. There he is. I think I need to go watch that movie. Probably not tonight, but I should definitely watch that movie. Seems like he really, really knocked it out of the park. Directing, editing, and writing. Awards for all those. On top of that, getting the best actress and also best movie of the year. So, man, this man literally killed it this year. Good for him. I don't have any. I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how to feel about it. But I'm glad he is able to make it work for him. That's impressive. Very impressive. All right. Well, anything else before I get going? I'm going to go downstairs and get my ribs reheated. Anything else? Are all 12 angry men? We're all talked out here. It's been 3 hours. Holy, I might have been on for 2 hours, almost 3 hours. I've talked for almost 3 hours there. Wow. All right. Cool. Well, we'll get back together next week. Hopefully I'll get more stuff done in my Norm Macdonald could do Richard Farnsworth. I don't remember. Oh, Norm Macdonald also did. He did Burt Reynolds. That's what he did. Burt Reynolds. Yeah, he did a terrible Burt Reynolds, but yeah, he did a Burt Reynolds impersonation. Norm Macdonald. Yeah, I'll take your sister for $200. Yeah. That was Norm Macdonald's character he'd always do. Anyhow. All right. Well, I'm talked out, and that wasn't I mean, I don't know. Reasonably exciting, I guess. Stream. Yay. Yay. All right. We'll come back at it. Talk to you next week. Hopefully get some more stuff done on the studio, and maybe I can stream from there next weekend. All right. We'll see you guys later. Fade to black, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.